there's a new one. Pulling a grader box, and for the first time I'm hearing a weird noise from the tractor. So when I bring the RPMs up, I start to hear this squeal. We'll see if we pick it up here. To me, it sounds like it's coming from the rear end, which has me very concerned. Not moving, it's just RPM, which makes me think it's the hydraulic pump. That's a bad deal. A little help from the Kubota owners group on Facebook. I think I figured out that was a fan belt sound. If I was driving a car and I heard that sound, I'd be like, that's a fan belt. I don't know why my brain goes automatically to the worst case scenario of it being the hydraulic pump, but that's just my brain. Having to tighten a fan belt, come on Kubota, do better. They make these things called spring tensioners. Everybody in the forum knew immediately what was wrong when they heard that sound. They're like, oh yeah, our Kubotas all have manual tension from the alternator. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we're gonna get it done. Just so you know, I've got the bucket up and I've got the controls locked out. So check this out right here. Right here there's a roller, which is free. It's not even rolling, but I think that's just to keep the air conditioner belt from slipping, from coming off. It's like, come on Kubota, you could put a spring tensioner just a little lower than that, move that, it's like a hydraulic line right there, move that hydraulic line out of the way, put a spring tensioner that could tension both those belts and you'd never have this squeaky problem. The manual says to loosen the bolts on the alternator, apply a lever against the block and pull it out until there is no more than 7 to 9 millimeters of deflection in the belt. Right now it seems like about a couple inches, which, I mean, centimeters to inches. It's a lot more than it should be. But look at the mess you have to get through to make that happen. I'm looking down in here. There is a manual tensioner on the air conditioner belt that looks like a screw tensioner. Awesome. It's just on this side, so you can actually get to it when you have the alternator cover off. So we'll get that done. Y'all have a brand of rubber gloves you wear for tough stuff like this? Leave it in the comments, because the Harbor Freight gloves are junk. Junk. Can't pull them on without them breaking. And granted, you guys are going to say, oh, they're too small, you got to get a bigger size. Well, I don't want sloppy gloves, I want stretchy gloves. See, they should stretch and they should fit so they don't get caught and stuff. Gosh, got to be so careful getting them on and off. Well, off. Getting them on. See? Pointless. That's right. So I think this whole deal lifts off here. Get that out of the way of the bolt there. That's really torqued on. Wow. Somebody used an impact to drive that on. Something fierce. You know, it's the part that has the tendency to vibrate, so I can understand wanting it to be torqued down, but there's such a thing as too much. Yeah, way too much. so I can see. I don't know if you can see that. Just how loose that is. Yeah, inches of slop. That explains why my battery's low as well, because it's not driving the alternator. So I think I got what I need here. Got the wobble socket extension. Oh, and they did give me the same bolt size. That was kind of them. Got a dog who seems unhappy over there. Doesn't know it's New Year's Day. But are they both the same? No. They put one that fits the same as the cover and one that's bigger. Two bigger. Assuming I gotta loosen the top and the bottom, but the top looks like it's adjustable, the bottom does not. There's two bolts. So what it actually looks like is the bottom mount is a flexible mount, so I don't want to loosen it. I'm supposed to just flex it with a lever. So we'll see how that goes here. Try the breaker bar, see if we can fish it in there. It says use a lever between the alternator and the block. Well, you didn't leave me room for that, Kubota. Where am I supposed to insert it from? And how am I supposed to know I'm not hitting cooling lines? Hot wires. Yeah, there ain't no way to get a lever into the space that they said. There's no clearance. You put an air conditioner in the way. There's absolutely zero room to get a lever long enough in there to actually act on this alternator against the block. So what I think I found, is I think I can get this screwdriver into the actual bracket, and there I'm moving the alternator. So if I can make that work. Still not very much room in there that direction. Got it inside the mount. Now I don't have room for my hand and wrench. It's a little better. Problem with that technique is the screwdriver wants to be right where the wrench needs to be. Go figure. Okay, so let me give Kubota a little advice here. If you're going to make a manual tensioner, you put a 3/8 square hole in the bracket so we can take our breaker bar and hold it out here. All you had to do was give us a little lever point. But they couldn't do that. They had to take up all the space. I think I've got it wedged against the outside of the bracket, so that's all we're gonna get out of that. I'll make sure it's torqued down good and tight. So I saw the manual. There's a tensioner for the air conditioner belt, I think. Yeah. And that's now tight. A little quarter turn there. All right. Let's fire this thing up and see if it squeals. All right, well, that seems to have fixed it. Now you know, it's a lot like a car. When it squeals, it's probably the fan belt. I am a little concerned that it loosened up. The tractor just got serviced less than 10 hours ago. It was his first service. It's 50-hour service, or 60-hour service. I'm a little concerned that there's a bearing in there on either a water pump or the alternator there's just a hint of a squeak in there. It probably doesn't come through on the camera's microphone, but there's just this little hint of a squeak in there that makes me a little pensive, I guess is the word. But we'll go ahead and get the cover back on and get back to work.